The Galactic Council chambers buzzed with unease, a palpable tension filling the massive hall as representatives from hundreds of alien species convened. Their voices, a cacophony of whispers and accusations, swirled in the air like a storm. The destruction of Eden 7 had thrown the galaxy's delicate balance into disarray. It wasn't just a colony, it was a symbol of humanity's expansion and their growing influence in galactic politics. As the debate raged, one question dominated the minds of all present: what would the humans do? The species seated around the circular chamber had seen firsthand what humanity was capable of when provoked. Their history was one of relentless perseverance and resourcefulness. Eden 7's destruction would surely provoke a swift and devastating response. Or so they believed. The murmurs softened as the human envoy entered the chamber. Ambassador Cara Dale, dressed in a minimalist yet commanding attire, strode to the center of the room. Her expression was unreadable, her every movement deliberate. To some, she seemed composed; to others, she was a storm contained within a fragile vessel. As she reached the central podium, the ambient hum of conversation dissipated. The council members leaned in, their curiosity piqued. For all the fear surrounding humans, Cara was respected, even admired. Known for her sharp mind and unshakable demeanor, she was the kind of diplomat who thrived in high-stakes situations. Cara's voice, calm yet firm, sliced through the silence. "Esteemed members of the council," she began, her words measured. "Eden 7 was more than a colony. It was a testament to cooperation, a melding of human ingenuity and galactic resources. Its obliteration is not just an attack on humanity but an attack on everything this council claims to stand for." Her opening statement was met with a wave of agreement and murmured outrage. A few representatives, however, remained conspicuously silent. Cara's sharp eyes noted their reactions, filing them away for later. She continued, her tone steady but carrying an edge. "Humanity has always honored its commitments to this council. We have abided by your laws, contributed to your initiatives, and upheld your values. And yet, today, we find ourselves here, mourning the loss of an entire colony, innocent lives, wiped out without provocation." Cara paused, allowing her words to sink in. She could feel the weight of the room's attention, the way even the most disinterested species now hung on her every syllable. "And so, I must ask," she said, her voice dropping, drawing everyone closer, "why did you attack our home?" The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives shouted over one another, their voices clashing in a discordant symphony of confusion and denial. The question was as unexpected as it was incendiary. "Our home? What did she mean?" Humanity's home was Earth, not Eden 7. The ambiguity of her accusation sent shockwaves through the assembly. Cara stood unmoving amidst the uproar, her gaze sweeping across the room. Her composure was unshaken, her expression unreadable. She had anticipated this reaction. Ambassador Dale, a towering reptilian figure, his scales shimmering under the chamber's lights, finally boomed above the noise. He was Chancellor Herac, the de facto leader of the council. "Surely you mean Eden 7. Earth has not been targeted." Cara turned her gaze to him, her expression as cold and unyielding as stone. "No, Chancellor. I mean Earth." The council chamber fell into a stunned silence. Even the most vocal representatives seemed momentarily frozen, their disbelief palpable. Earth, humanity's cradle and cultural heart, was untouchable, or so they had thought. The mere suggestion that it had been attacked sent ripples of unease through the assembly. Herac recovered quickly, though his tone betrayed his discomfort. "Ambassador Dale, such an accusation is unprecedented. Earth is heavily fortified, and there have been no reports of—" "Reports can be silenced," Cara interjected, her voice sharp. "Evidence can be hidden. But the truth has a way of surfacing." A low murmur began to spread once more, but Cara didn't allow it to grow. She pressed on, her voice carrying an edge of restrained fury. "For years, humanity has observed anomalies on Earth. Ecosystems destabilized by inexplicable factors. Orbital defenses mysteriously failing. Unnatural plagues targeting crops critical to our survival. And now, Eden 7, a colony meant to secure our species' future, destroyed in an attack that conveniently leaves no trace of the aggressor. The murmurs turned to murmurs of doubt and denial. Representatives whispered among themselves, the room alive with speculation and unease. Ambassador, Herac began, his tone attempting to reclaim authority. Such claims are grave. Do you have evidence to substantiate them? Kara's lips curled into a faint, humorless smile. You'll see it soon enough, Chancellor. But for now, I want an answer to my question. Why did you attack our home? The Chancellor hesitated, his towering form shrinking under the weight of her words. Around the chamber, representatives exchanged nervous glances. It was no longer a question of whether humanity would retaliate. It was a question of when. Kara took a step closer to the podium, her eyes scanning the room. Let me be clear. Humanity will not allow this act of aggression to go unanswered. Whether it's Eden 7 or Earth, we protect what is ours. If this council fails to provide answers, we will find them ourselves. And when we do... She let the threat hang in the air, unspoken but unmistakable. Silence engulfed the chamber. The once vocal representatives now sat frozen, trapped between fear and uncertainty. Kara allowed the moment to linger before stepping back, her expression unreadable. This council owes humanity the truth, she concluded, her voice softer now but no less commanding. I suggest you start searching for it. With that, she turned and walked away from the podium, leaving the council members to grapple with the weight of her words. The chamber remained heavy with silence long after Cara Dale's departure. Her words lingered like smoke, stinging the pride and unsettling the certainty of every representative present. Yet beneath the surface of disbelief and indignation, a current of unease rippled through the assembly. No one had expected humanity to come prepared with accusations that cut so close to the bone. In the privacy of a secure conference room, Kara met with her team of human delegates. The walls of the chamber glimmered faintly, a technological safeguard against eavesdropping. A tall, silver-haired aide approached her with a data slate, the contents illuminating grim expressions across the room. Kara's voice was sharp and focused as she spoke. We've collected the data, and the patterns are undeniable. The anomalies on Earth aren't random. Every event ties back to advanced alien interference. She gestured to the projection appearing on the central display, a map of Earth overlaid with data points. One delegate stepped forward, a younger man with a military bearing, and began detailing their findings. Seismic events have targeted critical tectonic zones, destabilizing regions with high strategic or agricultural importance. Orbital defense systems around Earth have experienced inexplicable failures, and our analysis shows traces of external tampering. Another image appeared on the screen, showing the aftermath of a failed orbital satellite launch. These incidents aren't isolated, the delegate continued. Each failure has been timed to coincide with a surge in unexplained weather disruptions and regional ecological collapses. Crops engineered to withstand extreme climates have begun failing en masse, with genetic analysis revealing micro-modifications designed to accelerate their decay. Kara remained silent, letting the evidence build. Each revelation painted a picture that was becoming harder to dismiss. The sabotage wasn't merely opportunistic, it was methodical and strategic. Earth was being targeted, not with an outright assault but with a long, deliberate campaign to weaken humanity's foundations. We've identified the technology, another aide added, stepping into the discussion. Fragments of what little we've recovered from these incidents share signatures of systems commonly used by several council factions. It's been masked well, but there are traces of varis manufacturing and herac design elements in the genetic sequences. Kara's expression darkened at the mention of the herac. The elusive and ancient species rarely appeared in person, operating through intermediaries like the varis. Their involvement wasn't just troubling, it was a confirmation of humanity's worst fears. The herac weren't known for overt aggression, but their subtle manipulations had destabilized entire civilizations in the past. As the discussion continued, one of the senior advisors spoke. We need to consider the possibility that this isn't just about weakening Earth. Eden 7's destruction may have been intended to provoke us, To create a distraction while they consolidate their grip on Earth. Kara nodded. Which means the attack on Eden 7 wasn't random. It was calculated, a move to force us into a corner. They want us to act out of desperation. She turned back to the team, her gaze steely. But we won't play into their hands. They expect us to lash out, to confirm the galaxy's fears of humanity as an uncontrollable force. Instead, we'll make the Council confront the truth. Later that day, Kara returned to the Council chambers, her steps purposeful and unyielding. This time, she carried with her the data slate containing irrefutable evidence. As she approached the center podium, the murmurs of the Council quieted. Kara wasted no time, her tone calm but brimming with intent. For those who doubt humanity's claims, allow me to present the facts. She began, activating the projection for all to see. The anomalies on Earth, the sabotage, the destruction of Eden 7, they are all connected. We have evidence linking these events to technology used by factions within this council. She paused to let the weight of her words settle before continuing. This isn't conjecture. This is hard data, patterns, signatures, and undeniable proof that advanced systems were used to destabilize Earth's ecosystem and infrastructure. The room erupted into a flurry of reactions. Some representatives expressed outrage, demanding to see the data in detail. Others sat in silence, their eyes darting nervously, as if trying to avoid Kara's piercing gaze. One representative, a sleek, insectoid figure from the varis delegation, clicked its mandibles in agitation. Ambassador Dale, these accusations are reckless. The varis have no interest in Earth's affairs. Kara's expression didn't waver. Perhaps not directly. But the technology used to manipulate Earth's crops bears your manufacturing signatures. If you're claiming innocence, I suggest you explain why your technology is involved in these incidents. The varis representative recoiled slightly but didn't respond. The chamber grew tense as Kara continued. This council has long prided itself on unity and cooperation, yet we are witnessing factions exploiting their influence for manipulation and sabotage. Earth is being targeted because humanity has become inconvenient, a force capable of disrupting the status quo. She pointed to the projection behind her, now showing side-by-side comparisons of sabotaged systems and their alien origins. These aren't just attacks on humanity. They are attacks on the very principles this council was founded upon. The silence in the room was deafening. For the first time, many representatives began to see the situation for what it truly was, not just a human issue, but a betrayal of galactic integrity. Chancellor Virek's voice cut through the quiet. Ambassador Dale, if your claims are true, this council must take action. But these are serious allegations. We will need time to verify this evidence. Kara's eyes narrowed. Time is a luxury humanity no longer has. While you deliberate, Earth continues to suffer. Eden 7 lies in ruins. And somewhere out there, the perpetrators prepare their next move. Virek hesitated, his towering form shifting uncomfortably. He wasn't the only one who seemed uncertain. Around the chamber, factions aligned with the herac looked tense, their usual arrogance replaced by unease. Kara pressed on. This isn't just about Earth. If the herac are involved, they won't stop with humanity. Their manipulations destabilize entire civilizations, ensuring their dominance through chaos and fear. You've seen their work before, you know what they're capable of. The murmurs began again, this time tinged with fear. The herac were a shadowy force, their influence whispered about but rarely proven. Kara had just placed them at the center of a galactic conspiracy, and the implications were chilling. As she stepped back from the podium, her final words left an indelible mark. Humanity will not stand idly by. We demand the truth, and we demand justice. This council must decide, will you uphold the principles of unity and cooperation, or will you allow yourselves to be tools of manipulation? The council remained silent as Kara left the chamber. The weight of her evidence, and the certainty in her voice left no room for denial. For the first time, the Galactic Council faced the reality that humanity wasn't merely asking for answers, they were demanding them. The silence that followed Kara's departure hung heavy over the Galactic Council chambers. It wasn't merely the weight of her accusations, it was the unspoken fear her evidence had stirred. Factions that had long thrived in the shadows suddenly felt the spotlight's burn. The implications were too precise to ignore, and yet, no one wanted to be the first to address them. In the human delegation's secure quarters, the mood was equally tense. Kara leaned over a holographic map of the Council's territories, her mind racing through the possibilities. She spoke quietly, her voice sharp and controlled. "They're cornered, but they're not broken. Whoever orchestrated this will act before we can force their hand." One of her aides stepped forward, his tone grave. "The varis delegation has requested a private meeting. Their ambassador insists they have vital information." Kara frowned but nodded. "Schedule it. If they're involved, I want to know how deeply." The meeting took place in a sterile, neutral chamber far from the public gaze. The varis ambassador, a small and unassuming figure with translucent skin and twitching mandibles, shifted nervously as Kara entered. Its voice was a series of high-pitched clicks, translated seamlessly by the room's AI. "Ambassador Dale, I come at great risk. There are things you must understand." Kara wasted no time. "If you're here to confess, start talking. If you're here to stall, I'm walking out." The varis ambassador recoiled slightly but pressed on. "We are pawns in this game, as much as you. The herac are behind this. They have been for centuries." The name landed like a thunderclap. Kara's gaze hardened, but she let the alien continue. "They operate from the shadows," the ambassador explained, its voice trembling. "Their power lies not in their fleets but in their ability to manipulate others. They exploit weaknesses, sow division, and collapse civilizations from within. By the time anyone realizes their hand was in it, it's too late." Kara folded her arms. "And you've been helping them?" The varis ambassador hesitated, its mandibles twitching anxiously. "We had no choice. Our species relies on the herac for survival. They provide us with technology, resources, protection, at a cost. They demanded our silence. Our complicity. Refusing them would mean extinction." The weight of the admission settled in the room. Kara's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "And what was their endgame with humanity?" "To ensure you remain fragmented and weak," the ambassador admitted. "Your adaptability terrifies them. Your ability to unite under threat is something they cannot control. The destruction of Eden 7 was a warning, a show of strength to keep you in line." Kara's anger simmered beneath her calm exterior. "Why tell me this now? What's changed?" The ambassador's gaze lowered. "They've gone too far. The herac plan to escalate. They fear the Council may turn against them, and they cannot afford humanity as a rallying force. If you do not act, they will make Earth uninhabitable." The room went cold at the implication. Kara's jaw tightened. "Do you have proof?" The varis ambassador produced a small device, placing it carefully on the table. A hologram flickered to life, displaying intercepted communications between herac operatives. The voices were calm, almost detached, as they discussed their plans. Words like biosphere collapse and orbital blockade sent a chill down Kara's spine. "This is what they intend," the ambassador said quietly. "If you confront them, they will reveal themselves. But be warned, they do not fear war. They thrive in chaos." The varis ambassador left shortly after, leaving Kara and her team to process the revelation. The herac weren't just manipulators. They were architects of collapse, wielding subtlety and strategy as weapons. Confronting them directly would be dangerous, but letting them continue unchecked would be catastrophic. Kara turned to her team, her voice firm. "We need to expose them. Not just to the Council, but to the galaxy. If we can make their manipulations undeniable, we'll force the Council to act." One of her advisors hesitated. "And if the Council sides with them? Then humanity stands alone," Kara replied, her tone resolute. "But we'll stand ready." The next day, the Council chambers were filled once more. Kara took the floor, her posture commanding as she began to speak. "The varis delegation has provided us with evidence that the herac have been orchestrating these events from the shadows. They've manipulated not just humanity but countless civilizations across the galaxy. She activated the holographic display, showing the intercepted communications. The alien voices echoed through the chamber, their words leaving no room for misinterpretation. Gasps and murmurs spread through the crowd as the realization took hold. These are not isolated incidents, Kara continued. The herac have been playing the galaxy like a game board, using fear and division to maintain their dominance. They see unity as a threat, and they see humanity as a spark they cannot allow to ignite. A commotion broke out among the council members. Some demanded immediate action, while others cast doubt on the evidence. But before the debate could spiral out of control, the lights in the chamber dimmed. A voice, cold and measured, filled the room. Ambassador Dale, your persistence is admirable. But your defiance is futile. The holographic display flickered, replaced by the image of a herac representative. Its form was obscured by a shimmering cloak, its features indistinct but unmistakably alien. The room fell silent, every eye fixed on the projection. You speak of unity, the herac said, its voice calm and almost condescending. But unity is an illusion. Chaos is the natural order of the universe, and we are its stewards. Humanity's ambition threatens that balance. Kara didn't flinch. Your balance is a lie, built on the suffering and exploitation of others. Humanity won't be your pawn. The herac's voice remained steady. You overestimate your importance, Ambassador. Eden 7 was merely a lesson. Earth will be a demonstration. The threat hung in the air, chilling in its simplicity. But Kara's response was immediate and unwavering. You've made one mistake, she said, her voice cutting through the tension. You think humanity's strength lies in our weapons or our numbers. It doesn't. Our strength is that we fight for more than ourselves. We fight for each other. The herac's image flickered and disappeared, leaving the council in stunned silence. Kara turned to face the assembly, her voice ringing with determination. The herac have declared war, not just on humanity, but on every species they've manipulated. The question is, will you stand with us, or will you let them divide us again? The chamber erupted into debate, but Karen knew the battle lines had been drawn. Humanity had exposed the herac's hand, and now, it was time to prepare for the consequences. The council chamber had become a battlefield of its own. Representatives argued, alliances frayed, and old rivalries resurfaced under the pressure of what Kara Dale had revealed. The herac's projection and veiled threats still lingered in the minds of everyone present, but decisive action seemed as elusive as ever. Kara stood at her delegation station, observing the chaos. Humanity's fate couldn't rest on this fractured council. Back in the secured quarters of the human delegation, Kara and her team prepared for what they knew was inevitable. The varis ambassador's warning and the herac's arrogance had confirmed one thing: Earth was already a target. Waiting for the council to act would mean inviting disaster. Humanity had to act first. An aide handed Kara a secured tablet. Project Dawnforge is operational, he said. The fleet is ready for deployment, and Earth's Echo is online. Kara took a steadying breath. Project Dawnforge had been a desperate measure, a last-ditch effort to defend humanity should the unthinkable happen. Developed in secret, it was a planetary defense system unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Powered by experimental energy reactors and a network of AI-guided satellites, it could neutralize threats with surgical precision across light years. Combined with Earth's Echo, a web of automated orbital platforms designed to intercept any attack, it was humanity's answer to extinction. Deploy the fleet, Kara said. No aggression, no provocations. Defensive posture only. Make sure the Council sees every move we make. Let them understand what's at stake. As the order went out, humanity's fleet began mobilizing. Across the galaxy, Earth's ships emerged from hidden stations and orbital docks, their sleek designs and advanced weaponry a testament to humanity's ingenuity. It wasn't the largest fleet, but it didn't need to be. Every ship was equipped with the latest technology, designed to outthink and outmaneuver any opponent. While the fleet moved into position, Kara returned to the council chambers. The debate had devolved into gridlock, with factions accusing each other of complicity or cowardice. Kara strode to the center, her presence commanding attention. The chamber fell silent as she spoke. "Enough," she said, her voice cutting through the noise. "You've seen the Haranak's threat. You've seen the evidence. And still, you argue while they prepare to strike." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Humanity will not wait for you to act. Our fleet is mobilized. Project Dawnforge is active. We will defend Earth, with or without your support." The announcement sent a ripple of shock through the assembly. Some representatives voiced concern, accusing humanity of escalating the situation. Others watched silently, their expressions unreadable. Chancellor Vyrek stood, his tone measured but firm. "Ambassador Dale, this council cannot condone unilateral military action. It will destabilize the region and invite further conflict." Kara met his gaze without flinching. "Destabilize? Earth has already been destabilized. Eden 7 was obliterated. The Heranak have declared war on us, and by extension, on this council. You can't condone what's already happening. All you can do is decide whether you'll stand with us or against us." A murmur spread through the chamber, but before Vyrek could respond, an alert sounded throughout the room. A council aide rushed to the Chancellor's side, whispering urgently. Vyrek's expression darkened as he turned to address the assembly. "The Heranak fleet has entered council space." The announcement struck like a lightning bolt. Representatives erupted into panic, their voices rising in a chaotic chorus. Kara remained calm, though her jaw tightened. This was it, the Heranak were making their move. Vyrek raised his voice to regain control. "All factions are to prepare for defensive measures. This council will not." Before he could finish, a projection flickered to life in the center of the chamber. It was the Heranak again, their representative cloaked in shadows. This time, there was no pretense of diplomacy. "The council's time is over," the Heranak said, their voice resonating with cold finality. "Your inability to maintain order has proven your weakness. Humanity's defiance is the catalyst, but make no mistake, we will bring chaos to all who resist." The projection disappeared, and the chamber erupted once more. Kara turned to her delegation, her voice steady. "Transmit a message to the fleet. Prepare for engagement. Earth's echo goes live." In the void of space, humanity's fleet adjusted its formations, the massive Earth's echo satellites locking into position. The Heranak fleet, sleek and menacing, loomed on the horizon, their numbers far exceeding humanity's. But numbers wouldn't decide this battle. Strategy and innovation would. The Heranak struck first, their ships firing beams of energy that sliced through the darkness. Earth's echo responded instantly, its AI systems calculating trajectories faster than any organic mind could comprehend. Beams of light erupted from the satellites, intercepting the incoming fire with pinpoint accuracy. The Haranak's initial assault was neutralized before it could reach humanity's ships. Humanity's fleet advanced, their movements coordinated like a single entity. The Heranak, accustomed to overwhelming their enemies with fear and chaos, found themselves matched at every turn. For every ship they targeted, humanity's fleet had an answer. For every strategy they employed, Earth's echo anticipated it. Kara watched the battle unfold from the council chambers, her expression calm but determined. The holographic display showed the Haranak's forces faltering, their once imposing formation breaking apart under the relentless precision of humanity's counterattacks. One by one, the Haranak's ships began to retreat. Their arrogance had blinded them to humanity's true strength, not just their technology, but their unyielding resolve. The battle wasn't just a victory for Earth, it was a statement to the galaxy. As the last of the Heranak ships disappeared into the void, the council chambers fell silent once more. Kara turned to the assembly, her voice steady but firm. "This is what humanity brings to the galaxy. Not war, but resistance to tyranny. Not chaos, but unity in the face of oppression." She paused, letting her words sink in. "The Heranak are not invincible. Their power lies in division, in fear. But today, Humanity proved that even the smallest flame can light a fire that burns through the darkness. The chamber erupted in applause, a rare show of unity among the representatives. Even those who had doubted humanity now looked at Kara with newfound respect. As she left the podium, Kara knew the battle was far from over. The herac would regroup, and their machinations would continue. But for now, humanity had shown the galaxy that they would not be broken. Earth was no longer just a planet, it was a symbol. And as long as humanity stood, that symbol would never fade.